Welcome to The Explainer. Today we are breaking down how businesses get seen on what is, let's be honest, the world's biggest marketplace, Google Search. We're going to look at the fascinating system they use to decide who gets that precious top spot. Okay, let's just dive right in. For decades, marketing meant things like billboards, maybe some magazine ads or flyers. And while that stuff can build brand awareness, it's incredibly expensive, it's not targeted, and it's almost impossible to track what's actually working. I mean, who saw the ad? Did it lead to a sale? You don't know. But then, digital marketing came along and changed everything. All of a sudden, businesses could measure every single dollar they spent and reach the exact people interested in their stuff. So instead of, shouting into a crowd, you could whisper an offer for a very specific phone case directly to someone who owns that exact phone. Now that's the power of targeting.
So how does Google manage all this? Well, in this explainer, here's what we'll cover. We'll look at the two ways businesses show up on a search page. We'll define the essential jargon you need to know. We're going to pull back the curtain on the ad auction that decides who wins. And finally, we'll show you the very first step to getting started yourself.
All right, let's start with the basics. Every time you type something into that Google search bar, there's this massive, lightning-fast competition for your attention, happening completely behind the scenes. So on any results page, you're going to see a really clear divide. Right at the top, you'll see listings with a little sponsored tag. Those are paid ads. Everything below that, those are the organic results, which are earned for free through a process called SEO, or Search Engine Optimization. To really get a handle on this world, we need to get the language right. You'll hear these acronyms thrown around all the time, so let's just quickly break them down.
First up is SEO. Now think of this as the long-term game. It's really the art and science of earning free traffic by making your website as helpful, relevant, and trustworthy as you possibly can in Google's eyes. It takes time, for sure, but the traffic you get is free.
SEM, or search engine marketing, is kind of the big umbrella term. But let's be real, it almost always refers to how you use paid ads to get your business seen immediately. So instead of earning your spot over months, you can pay to be at the top right now.
And the engine that drives all of this is a model called pay-per-click, or PPC. The concept is actually really simple but so powerful. Your ad can be shown 1,000 times, but you only pay when someone is interested enough to actually click on it.
Okay, so that makes sense. But what if multiple businesses are willing to pay for that same click? How does Google decide who gets the top spot? It's not a simple case of the highest bidder wins. Oh no, it's much more interesting than that.
And this brings us to the central question of the Google Ads auction. It just seems logical that the highest bidder would always win, right? I mean, if I bid $10 for a click and you only bid $5, surely I get the top spot. Or do I?
And the answer is a very surprising no. Honestly, this is probably the biggest misconception about Google Ads. You have to remember what Google's main goal is: keeping its users happy. And that means showing them the most relevant result, not just the ad from the company with the deepest pockets. They actually reward relevance.
So how do they do it? Well, it all comes down to this really simple but incredibly powerful formula. Your position on the page, what they call your ad rank, isn't just about your bid. It's your bid multiplied by something called a quality score.
Now, the bid part is pretty straightforward. It's the maximum amount of money you tell Google you're willing to pay for one single click. That's your cost per click bid, or CPC bid. Simple enough. But this quality score, this is where the magic happens. This is Google's rating on a scale from 1 to 10 of how good your ad actually is. It's their way of measuring how relevant and helpful your ad, your keywords, and your website are to the person who's searching. So what makes up this score? It's really 3 key things. First, ad relevance. Does your ad actually match what the user searched for? Second, expected click-through rate. Basically, Google predicts how likely people are to click your ad when they see it. And third, landing page experience. After someone clicks, is the web page you send them to actually helpful and relevant? Does it deliver on the ad's promise?
Okay, let's see how this actually plays out with an example. So, advertiser B is willing to pay double what advertiser A is bidding, $4 versus just $2. But look at that quality score. Advertiser A has a perfect 10, while advertiser B has a pretty poor score of 3. When you do the math, advertiser A's ad rank of 20 easily beats B's score of 12. In this case, quality beat budget, hands down.
So the takeaway here is incredibly powerful. Improving your ads quality is just as important, maybe even more important than how much you're willing to spend.
A great quality score can get you a better ad position for less money. It's Google's way of rewarding you for being relevant.
All right, now that you understand the mechanics of the auction and why quality is so important, what's the very first step to putting this all into action for your own business?
Well, it all starts with a simple 4-step process. First, you've got to define your goal. What do you want people to do? Next, choose your keywords. What are your customers actually typing into Google? Then, set your budget. How much are you comfortable spending each day? And finally, you write the ad itself, making it compelling enough to earn that click.
And as you're doing all of this, always remember the core advantage of digital marketing. As the old saying goes, if you can't measure it, you can't improve it. With Google Ads, every click, every cost, and every conversion is tracked, which gives you the data you need to get better and better over time.
So that's the gist of how Google Ads works. It's not just about money. It's a system designed to reward quality and relevance. Which really just leaves us with one final thought. Right at this very moment, your customers are searching. The only question is, will they find you, or will they find your competition?